Hi, I'm Brian King, and this is 5 Things Friday. Today, we're talking about how to stop fighting about your problems and start fixing them. And I'm going to give a lot of practical examples along with each point, so be sure to listen close. Because let's be honest, every marriage has disagreements, but not every disagreement has to turn into World War III. As a matter of fact, it would be much better if we could just solve these disagreements calmly and peacefully and get back to just enjoying life and enjoying being married. So here's 5 ways to shift from conflict to connection. Number 1, be proactive. Don't wait until the issue is ready to explode. Bring it up first. Set a calm, peaceful tone. It's a lot easier to have a small talk now than a big fight later. One of the things for my wife and I that always messed us up big time was unspoken expectations, especially around weekends and Monday holidays and regular holidays and just plans in general. We'd get to like the weekend and I'd have a plan, she would have a plan, we hadn't talked about it, and would spend all day fighting about it, and neither of us got what we wanted because she had expectations. And it was the same with like holidays. She had brought into the marriage a lot of expectations around individual holidays, and what you were expected to do on those holidays. And I grew up in a different household, so I didn't have the same expectations. It sounds silly, but that's the kind of stuff we fought about. And we learned to overcome that by, well, she learned to kind of bring things up in advance, and I learned to ask, hey, honey, we've got a holiday weekend coming up. What were you expecting? What are you planning? Oh, we've got an extra day off. And she'd tell me what she was thinking. I'd say what I was thinking, and would come to agreement, would kind of blend the plans. And, it's not like I just said, okay, we'll do whatever you want. As a matter of fact, sometimes it was like, no, we really can't do that because I need to do this, or we have this going on. We really shouldn't spend the money right now. Let's do it the weekend after, or something like that. And it worked. We didn't fight about weekends anymore. And we talked about, we kind of planned to plan, and it worked out great. Every once in a while, we'll run into it again and we'll say, all right, let's start over. So be proactive. That's number 1. Number 2, hide your buttons. We all have buttons our spouse can push. You know the ones. Hide them like the TV remote. Just say, sorry, can't find it. If you know a certain topic always triggers you, decide ahead of time how you respond differently the next time. One of the things that would trigger me was timing and when she would bring things up. And I knew that if she brought things up at a certain time, that I would be basically predisposed to react in a bad way. And a little bit of that was her learning to not ask me at those times, like right when we're getting ready to go to sleep, or when I'm heading out the door. And she learned a little bit about that. And I also learned that, okay, just stop. I can listen for a minute. I'm not in that big of a hurry. And part of it's because it was things she needed to know. And I would just kind of prepare myself. Okay, if she asks questions when I'm going out the door, I'm going to take the time and answer them. And if, we're getting ready for bed and she's still thinking about stuff and needs to talk, I'll talk. It's not that I didn't want to. It's just that it was a trigger for me. It's like, why are you bringing it up now? And she changed a little bit. I changed a little bit. Hasn't been a problem in a long time. Number 3, lighten up. It's just a disagreement, not a declaration of war. A little humor goes a long way. Try saying, hey, you want to keep this going over dinner? We haven't talked this much in ages. Or, just lighten the mood. Don't let it escalate. You know when it's escalating. Voices start going up, and that's the time to grab it. Because once it gets to a certain point, it is World War III, and you don't have any choice. And the important thing about communicating is having a choice and being able to express yourself without getting angry, and being able to listen to her, tell her she's being heard, let her know she's being heard, and then you can have a conversation instead of a fight. And even if you disagree, you can say, okay, I hear you. I don't agree, but let's table it. Let's keep it light. Why don't we discuss it over dinner? Why don't we do something different and work it out over time instead of having a big fight right now? I don't want to fight with you, so let's just don't do that way. That's another thing. Number 4, take a time out. If you feel like it's escalating, when things get really heated, pause, step away, take a breath, grab a coffee, whatever it takes to calm down before you say something you regret, do it. And the important thing is, don't just walk away, because she'll follow you. My wife did that a lot, and it's like I'd say, I just need to go, and she'd like keep following me. It's like, no, we're going to work on this. No, time out. Listen, I want to talk about this. I know we need to talk about it. I'm not leaving. I just need to cool off a little bit. So just give me a little bit of time, and then I'll be back and we can solve this. And then make sure you go back. Don't just run out. Don't leave. Don't stonewall. Don't find an excuse to put it off forever. Some things can't be solved the same day. Say, hey, time out. Let's talk about this when I get home tonight. We'll have coffee. We'll fix it then. And make sure she knows she's heard. I hear what the problem is. I know we need to do something about it. I care, and I want to work on it with you. I just can't do it right now because I'm not in the right place. Give me some time and we'll come back to it. And then come back to it and solve it. Most of the things we argue over aren't that big a deal. Usually in my case, it's my ego and my pride, and I'm feeling like I'm being disrespected. And even when it feels like I'm being disrespected, if I really get right down to it, I know she's not trying to be disrespectful. It's just coming out that way, and I'm perceiving it that way. So give your wife grace. She's not trying to be disrespectful. Tell her you hear her. Tell her you know there's a problem. And she's just trying to work on things. And you just need to give her the encouragement that you hear what she's saying, that you'll work on it. And if you have to put it off a little bit, that's okay. But make sure you tell her you'll get back to it, and then get back to it. Another thing, find the humor. Number 5, when all else fails, laugh. Try saying, wait, what are we arguing about again? I lost track. Not every time, but sometimes it works. You got to be careful because you don't want her to think you're making fun of her, but just say, hey, I'm on your side. I know you had a hard day. I don't know what happened, but it wasn't my fault. Let's just start over. And, you're going to have to be the judge of that. And that's basically it. You've got to learn your wife, learn what works, learn what doesn't work, and avoid that. And then, the bottom line is you can't fix everything in one conversation, but you can fix the way you handle those conversations. Every time you choose peace over pride, you're building a stronger marriage. So there's 5 ways to fix it instead of fight about it. Be proactive, hide your buttons, lighten up a little bit. Take a time out if you need it, make sure you come back, and then find the humor in it. Because most of the things we argue about, if you really get right down to it, they're pretty funny. So next time you feel that tension rising, remember these 5 tools and go from fighting about it to fixing it together. Hope you have a great weekend. Hope you don't need any of these tools this weekend, but if you do, use them. Talk to you next time.